helped catch an alleged killer. Bob Ward brought you the case of Timothy Walker's murder in his New England's Unsolved Report. Days later, an arrest. Tonight, we're hoping your tip can help police solve the murder of 30-year-old David Martins, a charismatic Dorchester man gunned down in front of witnesses. Bob Ward with a story in tonight's New England's Unsolved.
Tonight, we're out to look for a very, very, very exclusive creature.
This is David Martins, a 30-year-old Dorchester man who liked to make people laugh.
He was hilarious. He would have you in tears.
And on this night, with his friends and armed with his crocodile hunter impersonation, David Martins was on top of the world.
Lit up a room. Everybody was David's friend.
Shh, be very, very quiet. These special creatures are real sensitive.
But on another night, August 12, 2010, near a different street corner, David Martins was gunned down in cold blood. His unsolved murder has devastated his grieving family.
I failed to protect him. Like, why didn't I see something was wrong?
David Martins was shot to death sitting on these front steps at 531 Adams Street in Dorchester. It was a hot summer night, and Martins was here with his friends. Boston Police Homicide Detective Richard Daly shows me where it all went down. This is the scene of the murder right here.
Correct, on this front porch landing.
Where was he sitting?
Right up here to the right of the door.
And just before 9:30 that night, a gunman opened fire on David from a side alley.
This area right here was littered with shell casings, ejected shell casings, indicating to us that the shooter was standing right in this area and firing right at him.
David Martins was taken to Boston Medical Center. He was pronounced dead. His sisters never got the chance to say goodbye.
This was a shock to me. This was an absolute shock to me. Who would do this to a person like that? If you really, really knew him, he wouldn't hurt anyone. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
You're looking at the same view the killer had when he opened fire on David. In fact, the killer kept on shooting until he was right on top of David. David never had a chance.
A teenager sitting next to David was hit too. He survived. And in all of the panic of the shooting, Boston police still do not have a clear description from all of the witnesses. That's a fact that does not sit well with David's family.
This was a place he went often and surrounded by people that he thought was his friends. And in the end, this happened to him, and nobody says anything, nothing. And it's so frustrating. There's no way that you didn't see the person. There's no way, which makes the whole story worse for the family.
Back at the scene of the murder, Homicide Detective Daly tells me this likely was a well-planned hit and not a case of mistaken identity. And if David's murder is ever going to be solved, someone has to talk.
All these cases are marbled with walls of resistance, and I know there's a lot of variables for people not coming forward, and we know that people know more information about this murder, and we know they're not coming forward.
For David Martin's family, the wait for justice is making their pain unbearable.
We understand we can't have David back. Okay, granted, fine. But at least give us justice. We have no peace. There's no peace in our hearts. I just want to know that whoever did this to my brother is going to pay for it. He left the family destroyed. He left the little girl without a father. And he left the sister destroyed. He left the sisters completely destroyed. I don't know if we'll ever be the same.
If you can bring justice to David Martin's family, contact Boston Police Crime Stoppers. For New England's Unsolved, I'm Bob Ward, Fox 25 News.
And like Bob just said, if you know something, anything about David Martin's murder, you can leave an anonymous tip with Boston Police. All you have to do is call the Boston Police Crime Stoppers line. Here's the number, 1-800-494-TIPS. Or if you want, you can just send a text message. Just text the word tip to crime. You can always stay up to date with Bob's latest crime stories and analysis going to the Crime Files page on our website.
Flooding some areas.